Good afternoon, class. Did you know that Texas is a state? It's kind of weird, huh? Today I have credibility in my great speech because I too have gone through similar things that this speaker went through. Today I'm going to be talking to you about Lou Gehrig and the speech that he gave at Yankee Stadium in 1939 when he decided to walk away from baseball. To show you who he is, I have a photo. This right here is Lou Gehrig. Lou Gehrig played for the New York Yankees, and halfway through the 1939 season, he contracted a killing disease now named after him. In that speech, when he closed the speech, he said, "I close in saying that I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for." Isn't that great? Today, I'm going to be talking about two things that happened in this speech and return it back to me. In the beginning, he talked about how he had a bad break and he had that disease. And just like in life, many of us get bad breaks, whether that be a mental disability or a physical disease or disability. But what he says in return is, "I've got an awful lot to live for." The reason why I chose that is because so many of us, just like myself with my ADHD, think that life is just going to continue to get hard, and we keep getting a ton of curveballs thrown at us, and we just get overwhelmed with a lot of things. But when he said, "I've got an awful lot to live for," that struck to me, and I think it will strike to you guys, that no matter what happens, we will be able to get through it and enjoy life to the fullest. The second thing that I want to talk about is that he was at the top of his game. He actually had the longest consecutive games started in Major League history at the time, with over 1,000 games started in a row. And when he had to leave the game, that streak ended. Can you imagine being in his shoes, where you had to leave a sport that you loved, been playing since you were young or been playing since recently, and now all of a sudden you have to leave that? And I similarly went through things like that. Now, I'm not a professional baseball player and I don't make that kind of money, but like many of us, we were student athletes in high school. The two sports that I played and ran were, I ran track and I played football. And when it came to my senior year, I had a little bit of attention from colleges here, a little bit of attention from colleges there, but I just wasn't in it. I just didn't want to do it anymore. I wanted to further my education, and I felt as if sports were going to get in the way of my education and not allow me to improve. And that was one of the hardest decisions that I had to make. But it's one of the best decisions I had to make, because I knew that for the better of my life and the betterment of others, that getting my education and eventually getting my master's degree to become a principal is what was going to be good. So just as Lou Gehrig had to leave baseball to better his life and to prepare for what the world is bringing at him, and having awful lot to live for even after a bad break, is kind of why I think today's speech is relevant to me and to you guys. The conclusion of this speech is just talking about how, like I just said, leaving sports, mental or physical disability or illnesses, but being able to overcome them. I think through this speech that everybody should, one, go read it, and two, be able to get an extra motivation that they will be able to continue at life, continue going head on, and graduate college and go get a master's and become a mom, become a dad, become parents, anything like that. And no matter what you put your mind to, you're going to be able to achieve that. I just want to say thank you so much for listening to my speech, especially talking about the disability and then talking about leaving a sport that you love. And I can't wait to hear what your guys' great speech was. Thank you.